All right, here we go. October 27th. We are zipping right through 2022. It's hard to believe. Can't believe we're already at Halloween.
Is that this weekend?
Yeah, I think it's Monday. So
Sunday. It's Sunday.
Is it Sunday? Okay.
Sunday? I knew it was coming. It's the 31st, right?
Yeah.
Well, that's Monday.
Yeah, Monday is Halloween.
I know all the kids will probably celebrate Sunday
Or Saturday.
yeah, but Monday
or all weekend long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hit all 3 days.
Hey, it's all about candy, so that's a year-long thing. There's no day not good for candy, right?
Well, this fentanyl thing might put a dent in it.
Which one? What was that?
Fentanyl, fentanyl that looks like candy, killing people. Oh, you haven't heard about that?
No, I kind
you're
of
lucky.
I kind of live under a rock.
Yeah, well, that's a good rock to be under.
Yeah, rainbow fentanyl's becoming kind of a big deal of trying to snag kids and stuff. Very, very uncool. Hopefully you have some better treats for us today, John.
Yeah, God, I hope so. Yeah, I rarely watch the news, and I pretty much stay out of the media except for things I'm very interested in, and then I usually follow them on YouTube. I've found I get more accurate information from researchers on YouTube than what's out in the so-called real media.
I agree.
They're all pushing their agendas and whatnot.
Exactly.
Pretty crazy stuff. Anyway, let's talk about marketing or something that has to do with this.
Well, yeah, I was going to say
That sounds like a good idea.
You want to start off with the down 6 hours of Kartra the other night.
Oh, yeah, that was interesting. And there was a couple of accounts like Randy. You guys know Randy Powell. He's doing his big seminar today. He was flipping out because when Kartra came back up, I haven't heard what their downtime was, but everybody has downtime. All systems have downtime. But when it came back up, his account was not active. And he's, that was just what, yesterday or day before.
Mm-hmm.
So he is, everything's running through Kartra. So he was kind of flipping out. But I contacted my guy at Kartra, asked him about it, and whatever it was, it must have been simple because he had Randy back up and running in like 2 minutes. So that was a good thing. I'm trying to figure out too. There's another thing. I'm probably becoming a real pain in the butt to the Kartra people because I'm pointing out all the flaws, the little stuff along the way.
They should know.
And one of the ones that I've found that just doesn't seem right to me, and I know this is just a configuration thing on their part, but like, let's say somebody joins my Kartra affiliate program and they become my affiliate. And then they use that same account to set up a Kartra account. Let's say they do a 30-day free trial. At the end of the 30 days, if they don't activate their Kartra account goes dormant, including all the affiliates they've signed up for under that account. And I'm like, that's kind of a flawed system right there.
Mm-hmm.
So I've pointed that out to them, so they're going to be looking into that and seeing how they can fix that, because I was really confused. I had several people that were my affiliates that said, hey, my affiliate links aren't working. And then I went in and tested them, and sure enough, they weren't working. Came up and said account deactivated. And I looked and it's active in mine. I'm like, I didn't deactivate you. But I found out it had to do with their actual Kartra account. Kartra, all these things are built on databases, so they all run on a big jumbo database. And the database has unique IDs, which is how it creates or how it prevents double accounts from happening. Well, in Kartra, apparently their unique ID is the email address, which, that's a good one to go by because those are unique. It's almost like using a phone number. But the problem with that is if that unique ID is connected to multiple accounts, like let's say they have their Kartra account, and then they also have my affiliate account in that same Kartra database. If they deactivate the other one, it deactivates all of them. So it shouldn't be that way. It shouldn't deactivate all of them. So anyway, I pointed that out to them, and I'm sure they will get that sorted out in short order, I hope. Because I have a lot of affiliates, and I'm planning on giving a big push on affiliate stuff very soon, probably for Black Friday, which somebody just threw that at me yesterday. They said, "What are you doing for Black Friday?" And I'm like, holy shit, that's right around the corner. I hadn't even thought of it. So that might be a good topic to start off with. What are you doing for Black Friday? It's a great question. You don't want to wait to the last minute, because usually if you do, you'll find that last minute will come and go and you just missed an opportunity. There's Black Friday, there's Cyber Monday, there's lots of opportunities coming up for you to move merchandise. So it's all in the packaging. And here's something you got to be careful of, is greed. To acquire a customer is worth a lot. If you look at how much it costs you to acquire a customer, and if you can acquire a customer off an existing database, like if you've already got people that have signed up for free stuff from you, and they're in your database, whether it's Kartra or Aweber or Constant Contact, it doesn't matter. If you have a list of people, those are people that are likely to buy something from you. So don't be afraid to discount the living hell out of your stuff to turn them from a prospect to a customer. And I just had a conversation with a prospective client yesterday, and they have a single item. They sell one single tool. And, it's not an outrageously expensive tool. So, there can't be a tremendous amount of profit in it. And it's a niche tool for a particular industry. And they're competing with, their competitors are distributors or other companies that have a multitude of tools to sell. So I'm looking at that and I'm like, this is an awful lot like the woman with the maternity dress. She's got one thing to sell, limited opportunity to sell it. She only has a 3-month window, and then the customer's done with her. They're never going to rebuy unless they get pregnant again, right? And then they may just fall back and use the stuff they already had from the last one. So there's not a lot of repeat business there. And it's the same exact model. And I told them that story, and that just like totally opened their eyes. And I said, the moral to this is lifetime value of your customers. You don't have to create a bunch of products. All you have to do is be really in tune with your customer, who is your avatar. Remember, an avatar is a representation of your ideal customer. So you need to get in tune with them. And remember, the lesson about timeline is priceless. Timeline says, when you have a product that will take them from where they are to where they want to be, you've fulfilled their timeline. But guess what? A brand new timeline starts. What are they going to need next? After you give them what you have and you've satisfied that, you've satiated them, what are they going to need next? Everybody as human beings are never going to be satisfied. Once we get what we think we wanted, we're going to want something else. I mean, this goes on a minute by minute, day by day basis. I mean, a perfect example is you wake up, you're hungry, you get breakfast, right? Now you're satisfied for about an hour. And then you start thinking about lunch, you know, and you start thinking about candy bars or snacks or water. We always want something. You know, you can call it a need, but mostly it's wants. We need very few things. You know, we don't need to get up and eat in the morning, right? We might want to, but we don't really need to. So if you think about that, think about timeline, it will add exponential value to your customer, your lifetime customer value. It'll take it and just blow it through the roof. It'll take a customer that will give you a little bit of money right now, and it'll turn that into a customer that'll give you a little bit of money a lot of times for a long time. Who would you rather have? Right? I don't know. If, you know, there's some people that love to do sales. There's some people that love cold calling. I'm not one of them. Yeah. Tim just displayed a want.
You talked about candy. I had to get up and go get it.
Yeah, hey, you know what that is in the sales process?
What?
Create demand and desire. Sometimes all you have to do is mention it. So the whole conversation about lifetime value is a really important one to get. It can take a mediocre business and make it incredibly profitable. That woman with the maternity dresses, she makes 100-fold more off of her lifetime value now because of that. Every one of those dresses that she sells. And I remember, for any of you that remember the story, I told her, I go, let's just give the dress away. Let's not worry about profiting on the dress. And she freaked out. She's like, I have kids. I have to feed them. I can't do this as a nonprofit. And I said, no. I said, we're acquiring customers. You're investing in future money. That's what it is. When you acquire a customer, they're worth a certain amount of money and you're buying them. And nothing is free. You guys might think that you're getting free stuff, but nothing's ever free, right? Even a referral, if somebody refers you a customer and you don't see any cost in it, you might think, oh, that's a free customer. But that person that referred them, they might want a favor of you someday, right? So nothing is free. It might look like it is, but nothing is free. So, but think about that. Think about what's the cost to acquire a customer, and think about that cost as an investment in what that customer is worth. It's like, you know, it's like any investment. I mean, you can buy a bar of gold today for X amount of dollars. And, you know, the investment value is, hey, 10 years from now, it's going to be worth X amount and I could sell it and I can have that much more money. It's the same thing. You're buying something today, which I buy customers, and they're worth something more in the future. You know, whether it's you get something every month off it, again, that's like an investment. Some investments will pay you monthly. Some investments, you know, you're putting into like a retirement fund and they're going to cash out at the end of the rainbow. You know, those, I don't like those as much. I like investments, or, you know, and when I say investments, I'm talking about customers. I like the ones that pay out monthly. You know, like for instance, somebody comes in to my program and they learn about ACT. I introduce them to Kartra. Again, this is lifetime value. Whether the person stays with me or not, if I get them onto Kartra and I show them how this is going to run your business forever, they're never going to give it up, right? Who's going to back out of that? They're running a profitable business for $100 a month overhead. And I'm going to get $40 a month of that from the Kartra affiliate program. So I might have invested over here. Let's say they paid me $497 for the ACT program. Let's say I spent $500 to acquire that customer. So I'm really a negative $3 on the first month. But then I've got the ongoing, my support mentoring, $29 a month. So you take the $3 loss off the first month, you apply it to the second month, and instead of 29, I just made $26.97. Now I'm profitable first month. Say 3 months in, I show them how to create a marketing campaign. I introduce them to Kartra rather. Now I'm not only getting $29, I'm now getting 40. And if I take them to the end of the rainbow and they don't need me anymore, hey, they're still going to need the Kartra, the ongoing, the $40 a month. What's that customer worth? You know, $400 or $40 a month, you know, times 12. I think that's $480 a year times a decade. You know, now you're almost $5,000. So if I could show you an investment where you put $500 in and you made $5,000, you 10 times it in 10 years. Most people would say that's a hell of a deal. So that's what you need to look at. You need to look at your lifetime value. And that's what business is all about. Business is buying and selling stuff. I don't care what it is. It could be a service. It could be, you know, a software. It could be a product. There's a cost to everything. Even if it's just your time, there's still a cost to it. So you put that money into the cost, you're investing. Basically, if you create inventory, you're investing in your inventory with the goal of selling it and making the profit. So who you sell it to, that's your customer. So the profit off that sale, that's your opening act. You know, that's your first sale. What it takes to get that sale, that's your cost of acquisition. That's how much did you have to put out in advertising money, in creating a marketing campaign, whatever it is, to do that. Like, you guys might think it's really expensive to have somebody create a marketing campaign for you. Let's say you got somebody that's going to charge $10,000 to create a marketing campaign that converts for you. And you're like, holy crap, you know, I'm only selling a $500 thing. You basically do some simple math and you say, okay, for me to pay for that, that's a cost of goods. That's just like buying inventory. So for me to pay for that, how many units do I have to move before I break even? And then you look at, is having that going to move that more units than I would have moved on my own? Generally, the answer is yes. So is it worth it? Again, you know, I see a lot of these speakers talking about investing in themselves. And it's taken a little out of context. They're really just trying to get you to buy something. But you have to look at the investment as just that. What is this thing costing me? And what's it going to do in my business? And for most of them, the answer is it's not going to do anything, because you're not going to do anything with it. See, so many people spend so much money buying product after product and not implementing it. If you put money into something you don't implement, like, it would be absolutely crazy for you to pay somebody $10,000 to build you a marketing campaign if you had no plans of implementation. That, I believe, would fall under insanity, right? That's just my opinion for what it's worth. But I have a specific bucket called insanity, and that's where I put that one. And not to say that I haven't done it. I've done it repeatedly. I can't tell you how much stuff I've bought and not implemented. But the stuff, and I've really kind of changed that. I don't do that anymore. The only time, and I encourage everyone else too. You know, when I know I go to a lot of conferences and there's a lot of speakers and there's a lot of pitches, and the people that know me, they always ask me this, like, wow, that looks like a great deal. Should I get that? And my first question is, are you going to use it? And when? If it lines up with something you're doing right now, then right now is the time to buy it. Remember, like, you guys know how to put an offer together, right? You know how to create scarcity. You know that you say, okay, this deal is only available till I walk out the back door. Well, guess what? You flag the guy down in the parking lot. He's going to sell you the deal. Roger, go ahead. You're muted there too. You're still muted. Well, you're not muted, but we can't hear you. Unless it was just me.
Let's try that one. Can you hear me now?
There you go.
Holy cow. Sorry, Zoom. I had a different meeting and Zoom switched my audio settings over. I feel so newbie now. Okay. You just mentioned you all know how to put an offer together flippantly, right? And you all know how to create scarcity, which is yet another skill. Okay, that's a lot harder because you want to be seen as authentic. You don't want to be seen as one of those slimy people that say, this is only today only. But anytime you go to their website or their thing, it's that amazing offer today only, right? Which I get it, but it's, yes, of course I want the discount. At the same time, I know that I'm dealing with somebody who's using a manipulation tactic, and I will forgive that because I want what they're selling. But that's the thing. They've lost a little bit of credibility with me. So no, the answer is I don't know how to create scarcity.
Oh, okay. Well, I made an error on my assumption then, and I see that now that you had pointed it out. I was making that assumption because I have talked about it before, and you probably weren't on that talk, but I've done whole segments on creating offers. We call it an irresistible offer. I stole that from Eric Lawful. He teaches how to do an irresistible offer. His is a little different than mine. His is more for a in-person, face-to-face sales process, and his works really well. I mean, I love his irresistible offer, the way he forms it and puts the pieces together. In fact, when I learned that from him, I realized I've never actually made a call to action on the end of a sales presentation. I've gone over, how I used to sell SEO, how I would present it, and I never offered it for sale. I never had to, because I did the presentation in a way that they were asking me, can you do this for me? Which I absolutely loved, because I didn't want to ever feel like a salesperson. And not that there's anything wrong with that. They're the highest paid people on the planet. If you were going to, if I were going to consider a job, which isn't ever going to happen, that would be the one I would want, because it's the highest paying, the most profit in that one, right? And it gives you the most power. If you know how to sell stuff, you hold a lot of power. If you wanted to be an employee and you wanted to work for somebody and you had sales skills, you hold the power there. It's not like you have to beg anybody for a job. They're begging to have you do it, right? But with, did we lose Roger? Oh no, there you are. You moved into the corner.
I only moved a little bit.
These squares are moving around on me. I'm like, where is everybody? But anyway, I kind of lost my train of thought there. But
we're talking about how to offer something that's a special for a limited time to give the perception of clarity. And yet, it's not a limited time, because that's the price you want people to engage you at.
Gotcha. And
how do you manage that?
Gotcha. Let me look. I think I actually have a slide out of a slide deck where I teach that. Let me see. Give me just a second here.
Now, I do recall, John, while you're looking, that you do these guest webinar on somebody else's platform where you offer a special, and then I've seen your landing pages where you have like 3 days worth of today's price is, then the next day, and you talked about you do change it when you say you'll change it, and then you change it to a different offer and a different offer. So you have these descending cost offers, but you also take away some of the benefit as you lower the price, right? I love that.
Correct.
But
yeah, that's a
but that-
great way to do it.
That is a great way, but you have a unique situation. So I'm presenting you with this challenge. Your unique situation is that you get to renew that offer with legitimacy by guesting on yet somebody news
Correct.
web video cast, right? So their
Yes.
webinar, you can now basically resume the offer. But for a lot of us, we just are doing a promotion. Maybe the promotion is through free advertising or paid advertising and drive people to a landing page. How do you make it so that the landing page, which shows a declining offer opportunity, when they go 3 days later,
You can absolutely do that in Kartra. Kartra will do that for you. I actually have a webinar campaign in Kartra that I've set up that way. It's an evergreen for the same offer. It's the exact same offer. It's just not a live webinar. What I do, instead of having them register for the webinar, I have them register to watch the replay or a presentation or whatever you want to call it. I say, I've got a great presentation on how this works. I'd love to teach you how to get this benefit. And they sign up, they get instant access, and Kartra starts a counter. So when they hit a particular page, the counter starts. And then the offer is there, and the offer says with the counter, this offer expires in 72 hours, and the counter's counting down. And then what I do is I don't take like the whole thing away from them. Like I say in my SitePop offer, I say you're going to get 3 months of free service if you purchase today. And I'm going to give you a special price and lock it in forever. But the big thing is they get the 3 months free service. Instead of having to pay them monthly, they get a 3-month free ride after their first payment. So they think at the end of 72 hours, that just gone forever, right? But it's at the 73rd hour, I send them an email and say, sorry, you missed it. The offer has expired, but for the next 24 hours, we're doing 2 months free. So now all of a sudden they're like, damn it, I missed the 3, I'm going to get the 2. And then at the end of that 48 hours, on the 49th hour, I send another email saying, hey, sorry, you missed the second round. The 2 months is off the table, but you get one more chance up till Sunday night or, whatever it is, we'll still give you 1 free month. And then at the end of that, those are gone. The free months are off the table. But at the end of that, now I'm pretty sure that nobody's going to take that offer, but I was wrong. I cannot tell you how wrong I was. I've had a lot of sales after the offers have expired at full price. Or not at full price, but still the sale price, but no free months. Blows my mind. So I run the campaign for another week at not regular price, the special price, but no free months. I get a bunch of sales right there. And at the end of that week, now I'm making the assumption that, okay, I've run this campaign to the buy or die. It's over, right? I was wrong again. Then I put another sale on the end of it that I specifically called this the Hail Mary. My landing page is actually called Hail Mary. This is where I'm just going to throw the ball up as hard as I can and see if anybody can catch it. And I'll do a discounted offer that's lower than anything I've ever sold before. And these are the only people that are ever going to see it. And it's only going to last for a day. And I pick up sales on that one too. It's still profitable for me because I've already recouped all my profit for the campaign up front. So anybody I can add on to the tail end of it, it's like free money. And it's not only free money, it's a customer I've acquired that's going to pay me for a long time. Even if it's a little less, it's software. After the software is paid for, there's really no cost on my part except for keeping up the network, which I have, all the people that are in it at full price are paying that anyway. So it really is like free money. So that's how I do it on my evergreen webinar for SitePop, it's a SaaS software, which is software as a service. They pay monthly for it.
John, real quick. First, let me know, does my voice sound different now from a moment ago?
No.
No, same? Okay. Second question is on the hail. Sorry. Darn it. I couldn't go to Craig's conference. I had a cold. It's still just hanging on a little bit. Okay. The offers that you've been offering where you offered a sale price with 3 free months, then with 2 free, then with 1 free. If people who bought at 3 free months see your follow-on offer accidentally or however, no harm done, because you're showing them that you're reducing the offer. Whoever buys gets the better deal at the moment they buy until the Hail Mary.
Correct.
Now the Hail Mary has to be the secret email, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And I have had a couple of people that got the Hail Mary that purchased on a different email address. So here's what I do there. I just give them the price. That's it. If they got it, I give it to them. I don't alienate them. I don't say, oh no, you can't have that because you already purchased. I just reduce their price, good to go. And they like it. No hard feelings. You never want to create a hard feeling between you and one of your customers.
Michelle's over there.
Yeah, I got
commenting
that
from the Phoenix gallery.
I'm like, wow, maybe I got to remember who I'm talking to here.
Okay, so Kartra has the.
Oh, you killed your mic there.
And Kartra has the ability to monitor who you've sent the emails to, and you can do the tagging system once they purchase. I get that.
Right.
But now we've hit the problem that you don't want to send your emails to a big list from Kartra. So how do you manage screening out the people who have already purchased while also not using Kartra's bulk email service because you don't want to get flagged?
That one, there's not really a way to do that. If you've got let's say you've got a Kartra email database and you've got Constant Contact or Aweber or whatever. If you send that special offer out to the Aweber, you're going to cause a problem. And I've done this before. I had Kartra. I had a member, which was my membership software. And the only people I had in a member were my customers, people that had already purchased. So I was going from a big database over here into a customer database. And every time I would send out a special email, I would have to discount all my customers. And it hurt. It was like, damn it, I got a few new customers, but here I had to slash prices on a whole bunch of them. So it really sucked. So the idea there, if you're going to do that, you would never send the Hail Mary to the generic list. The only thing you send to the generic list is the intro to get into the funnel. Now you've moved them out of the generic list. Now Kartra is controlling the Hail Mary pass. So the only way you're going to miss there is if they have 2 emails in Kartra that are in that sequence. That makes sense?
Yes, very possible, because if you have that, enter your email to get this free PDF thing, but spontaneously, with some of those people, let's say it's not you, it's random other offer, I will use my throwaway email. And with others, I'm like, no, I really do want to see their follow-up, and I'll use a better email and forget that I've already done it. The other system I use is, I know cookies are browser specific. So anytime I see on a website of random coach person offer good for 72 hours, I just wait a little bit, open a different browser and go in. So if I use Opera, which is my go-to, I'll open the same site in Chrome, and ta-da, it's 72 hours. It's amazing.
Yeah. Well, you know, I
Except
really,
for those of us who have Kartra and have your butt tag.
I wanted the Doodly. You guys ever heard of Doodly software? That's the one where you can put script in.
$49 and
Yeah, it'll doodle it out. Well, those guys were selling that software pretty expensive to begin with, and it was a monthly fee and the whole bit. And I had gone to their webpage and I had bugged out of their offer. And then all of a sudden, like a couple months later, I'd completely forgotten about it. A couple months later, I'm on Facebook and up pops an ad, get Doodly for, I think it was $69 or $67 for lifetime, no payments. And I'm like, oh, hell yeah. I mean, that was their Hail Mary. So they got me on the Hail Mary. So you always want to throw a Hail Mary.
John, what does Doodly do?
Doodly it's a doodle software. You give it a script, you give it text, and it will write it, you know, like a handwritten thing. And it's kind of cool. It makes an automated video basically out of your text. And
Wow.
for a long time, they were very engaging. You know, watching the handwriting, it was almost like hypnotic. It kept people engaged with the videos for a very long time. But it got to the point where everybody was doing it, and then, you know, it's like, okay, we glazed over now. That
is the problem. There's a lot of cool things that when they're new, you're like, wow. Like in Facebook, when you could see those photos that it's a static photo, but as you scroll up, the angle shifts kind of 3D like. And then it became add 3D to your photo, and everybody was doing it. And pretty soon you're like, oh, come on, I just want to see the photo.
But remember, you know, stuff cycles. So remember stuff from a long time ago that was cool. It's still cool, and it's like fashion. You know, fashion will always come back in style.
I only wear bell bottoms.
People stop using the stuff, and then you can use it and it'll be cool again. So don't ever abandon that stuff. Like, keep a whole war chest of cool shit so you can keep, you know, re-energizing when it falls off. And
John, it also is, because I got Doodly and I really like it, but if you use Doodly, it will just take blocks of text and it'll just move it in. So that's very straightforward. Then it'll take a block of text and make it right. And if you start in cutting that with still photos and with certain, you know, with live video feeds, and then you go back to it, and then you're drawing. So if you're doing a visual switch every 3 to 5 seconds or so, that's a short enough time period to keep people's interest engaged. And you can still mix it all up, because I still have Doodly, I still use it, but I've got it mixed in with a whole bunch of other things, and it's still very, very effective at keeping people's attention. So I had one question though. You were talking about Zoom last week, that you're going to get us the special deal. Is that available, and which section of your website is it going to be available when it is available?
I'm going to send an email out. I think it's available now. I just have to check in with John over at Working Live. They were supposed to be building me a landing page for it. So I think it's probably ready to go. And once it is, I'll send an email out to everybody. And then we'll put it into the ACT program on the bonus page too.
And I forget if you mentioned that, John, but are they going to, for us who got it through the other company that no longer has it, are they gonna, like, when our renewals come up, are they gonna discontinue them, or are they gonna keep us renewed?
No. It's, if you got it through them, you got it forever.
Okay, all right.
There's
You
nothing
just
you
can't
need.
get it new again, yeah.
Correct. Yeah. If you already have it, you don't need to go through me to get it. You already have it.
There's no advantage for me or you for me to switch.
The only advantage to me is if you go through me, I make $1 a month. It's not a
I
big
think you
deal.
make more than that from me now.
Yeah. It's not a big deal.
Hey,
So
John, on
yeah.
that, I've heard some mixed messages. Do you control your own settings? All of your little options that they provide?
Yes, it's just like having your own Zoom account. The only difference is from a global level, you don't own it. That's the only difference, but you control it totally.
What does that mean?
If you, well, even if you went through Zoom directly, you still don't own it, right?
Right. I don't own my Gmail.
Yeah, exactly. So it's just semantics.
Well,
thing-
not quite, because there are some applications that require you to be the owner in order to use them, and therefore you can't combine them with that version of Zoom.
Okay. So
It's rare, but it's a pain in the butt when you run across one of those, and I did. And they they didn't help in any way to try to accommodate me on that. So there are some situations where you need to be the owner,
can you
or
give
you
an
just can't
example?
use that application anymore.
Yeah, can you give us an example of what you ran into, just so I know?
Yeah, it was a scheduler. It was let's see, which one was it? It wasn't Calendly. What's the next often used scheduler?
I use Time Trade.
Okay, it's not that. Anyway, it's a scheduler that I'd been using for years. And when I switched to that version of Zoom, it required me to be the owner. And
Okay.
and it was a bit of a fiasco to get switched over to a new scheduler.
Got it. Yeah.
If it's important for anybody to know that, I can dig out what scheduler it was and let you know, but
Okay.
I'll have that for next week.
Okay. Perfect.
In
Yeah.
case anybody needs to know.
Yeah. So that's really the difference between going through Zoom and going through Working Live. Working Live is the owner of that Zoom account. You have full control over all the settings and all that. But for me, I haven't run into any situation yet where it's any different. Roy did with a calendar thing. So it's a possibility you might, but when you look at the savings,
Oh, yeah.
So
I'm not upset.
For $12 a month to get the enterprise level of Zoom with all the bells and whistles, what you're saving there, I mean, you could buy a new calendar system with that and be done with it. But I know, like, I use Google Calendar a lot now, and and I have it integrated with all my calendars and scheduling. So everything's in one spot and they all kind of connect to it. And it connects my Zoom account perfectly.
Is that what you're using now?
Yes. And the only reason, like, I use Time Trade because back, I don't know how far back, probably well over a year ago, probably 2 years ago, the Zoom calendar, when they first came out with it, wasn't quite right. I spent a bunch of time with it and I just came to the conclusion, okay, this is not right. I'm going back to Time Trade because I already had Time Trade set up prior to using Kartra. So I made the switch back. I'm still using it just because I'm too lazy to go back and switch back to Kartra, but Kartra is fixed now. So it's working, and it will connect to your Zoom calendar or to your Google Calendar.
John, what is the company you said that owns the account?
It's called Working Live.
Working Live. So are you using a Working Live account now for your Zoom that I'm seeing?
Yes.
And Roy, you are as well.
Yes.
And I hear Tim has it. So to
there
me,
is-
to
there
me,
is a difference.
You can't even tell the difference. It's fantastic.
okay, good, thanks.
You
And
you still log into Zoom
Yeah.
for all your settings and everything. It is a Zoom account. It's just owned by them, and it's a special version that Zoom has created for them that's an enterprise level.
And it has webinar capability.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's the most important thing to me.
Yeah, it's got the 500 seat webinar capability.
Yes.
And the lower
Yes.
price on top of it.
Yeah, because I was paying for the 100 seat license for webinar before, and that was $40 a month on top of the 16.
Yeah.
So, and I didn't have the enterprise level. I didn't have the transcriptions. I didn't have, all the extra bells and whistles. And the other thing too, that's kind of, I don't know if it's beneficial or not. I'm not a real big analytics guy myself, but in Working Live, they give you a special system that they've put on top of it that will give you an AI analysis of every conversation you have, which is kind of interesting. Whether it's worth anything or meaningful or whatever, I don't know, but it's
I don't need my software telling me I need therapy.
Well,
We know you need therapy.
it can also tell you how engaged your audience is too. So it's interesting.
John, on your version, do you get, I noticed some people have, Zoom / and instead of alphabet soup, they actually have their company name or something like that. Is that a normal feature or is that an unusual feature?
Well, what that is, like, there's a couple ways you can do that. You can buy a domain, like you could buy zoomwithrichard.com, right? And all you have to do is put a forwarder to your Zoom room. And then you give out the address, hey, go to zoomwithrichard.com and we'll get on Zoom.
That's a category of one.com is kind of a long, and people always misspell categories. So that's kind of like a problem. But ACO1.com was available. So I'm using Rebrandly. So anything with a category of one, you say, come to see us here, ACO1.com / and I can use any little short code I want. And so that was what I was thinking. If I still have to get, as long as the Zoom room address is fixed,
it
I
is.
use that.
It
Okay.
is. Yeah.
Yeah,
You
I
can
like,
change it,
yeah. Yeah,
but it-
I do the Zoom, like timgillette.com / Zoom room, and it takes you to my.
Yeah, that's what I do too. I have internetdominators.com /
Pretty links. I use pretty links.
Mhm. Yeah. Mr. McLean, you got your hand up there.
Doing some morning background stuff while I'm listening, but boy, I'm really getting a lot out of today's call. So thanks for that, John. And
All right.
I have a question for you. I have the Zoom, which you introduced to the group way back when through Be Connected, for the discounted price with the 500 seat. Is this the same thing about the offer you're talking about now, or is it a new and improved offer that you're talking about now?
No, it's pretty much the identical offer. It's just going to be available through me now, and it's not available through them anymore.
Okay, super. So I don't need to do anything. Just sit back and enjoy the Zoom ride I'm already on.
If you're already on it, you are good forever. Just keep paying your bill.
All right. Thanks, pal. Cool.
Absolutely.
I just figured out that the account that you have to be the owner of, it's Acuity.
That's what I was going to say, and I didn't think that was what you were looking for, Roy.
Yeah, that's what it was. I couldn't think of it because I haven't used it for a while now.
Yeah, I haven't tried that one, so I wasn't familiar with that one. I've heard of it, but not familiar with it.
I really liked it, but I'm okay with not using it.
That's awesome. All right, so let me step back. I found the presentation that I was talking to Roger about. and I'll share that. And it's about basically a special offer. It's a webinar that I do for ACT. So let me share the screen here. You guys can see that?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is slide number 48, and I'm talking about creating a irresistible offer, creating your special offer. And then I go to the components. So the 5 components that I lay out that needs to be in your offer, aside from the price. We talk about scarcity. So scarcity is, there's only like so many. Scarcity is, this isn't going to last long. There's a lot of ways that you can create scarcity. Exclusivity is, it's kind of a form of scarcity, but exclusivity is, this is only available if you're like, I'll give you a perfect example of exclusivity. This call is exclusivity. The only way you can get on this call is if you've purchased my ACT program or my old SEO Dominator program or my Internet Dominator family package. That's exclusivity. People that don't have that don't get on this call. This call is not open to the public. So that's exclusivity. Guarantee. There's all kinds of different guarantees that you can give. I encourage you to create something unique. You know, like one of the ones that I saw that inspired my guarantee was, these guys were in Hawaii. I forget the name of them, but they had it was called the Dog Ate It Guarantee. And all you had to do, if you didn't want the product after 30 days, you just call them up, you say, hey, the dog ate it, or send them an email, dog ate it. And they just refund your money 100%, no questions asked. So I created a similar guarantee called the Shark Bite Guarantee. Same thing, you know, you have 30 days to decide. If at any time during that you're not absolutely, you know, elated with the product, just send us an email, put in a support ticket, call our number, just say shark bit it. And no questions asked, 100% full guarantee, full money back guarantee. Guarantees, like when in the ACT program, you'll see there's a whole video on this that goes through all the different, you know, sections of each one of these. And I go deep on it, you know, all the different kinds of guarantees, all the different kinds of exclusivity, all the different kinds of scarcity. And then bonuses. Bonuses is kind of, I see a lot of people blowing it with bonuses. A bonus, the perfect bonus for you to offer, you know, is something that enhances the original offer. Not just all the crap that's on your desktop. You know, not like, you know, hey, if you buy my product, I'll give you everything from the last 30 years, right? That's not really a great bonus. That's kind of that's a Hail Mary on a bonus, basically. You're hoping to get them on something, but every time I'm on a sales pitch and they get into the bonuses and they start throwing out this and that, and it has absolutely nothing to do with the original product I'm trying to purchase, they'll lose me. It's like, nah, you know, why are they giving me all this other crap? And the thing that's going through my mind is, I'm going to have to use all this crap to get this thing to work. Nah, forget it. I'm out. So a bonus should be something that either allows them to get what they wanted faster, easier, or cheaper. You know, it's an enhancement to the original offer. Those make great bonuses. That you know, and again, this is my opinion, but the people that I've seen that give bonuses that way, it's so much more effective. And then rationalizing a discount. You never want to just discount your product unless you rationalize the discount. Like for instance, I see people that are trying to fill seats, right? They're doing a live event. They're trying to fill seats, trying to put asses in seats. And they say, you know, this is a $997 seminar, but I'm going to give you a I'm selling seats now for $97. What does that tell me? It's worth $97, right? It's not a $9.97 deal because they didn't rationalize the discount. But if I took that and I repurposed that and I said, okay, it's $9.97, but here's the deal. 75% of the seats are already sold out. I want to fill the rest because I'm doing a video and I want a full house. So here's the deal. And you lean in and whisper to them like it's a secret. You say, I'm going to offer this to you for just $97. You're going to be helping me fulfill my dream of having a full house for my video. Now I've just rationalized the discount. I didn't cheapen the offer. I gave them a sweet deal, rationalized the discount. It's a win-win for both of us. See the difference? There's a huge difference. So when you're creating your irresistible offer, there's huge differences. You can stack so much more value if you just do this right. It's like everything else. You know, most people talk about features. When they're creating demand and desire, they're talking features. Nobody cares. Nobody cares what the thing is. All they care about is what it does, what it's going to do for them, how it's going to affect them, how it's going to change their life, how it's going to make things better. That's what they care about. That's benefits. So if you have features and benefits and you feel that you need to talk about the features, you just graze over them, but then you dig deep in the benefits. Doing that's a game changer for your funnels. That's creating demand and desire. You know, I actually have that. That's step number 4 here is create the special offer, the irresistible offer. Step 2 is create demand and desire. You know, this is where we talk about you have to seduce the heart and convince the head. That's how you're going to create demand and desire in your offers. And, you know, the head, you guys, I'm not going to make the assumption that you guys know this because I made that earlier and I was wrong. But if you've gone through the training in the ACT program, you will know this. There's the heart and there's the head. The heart is where all desire lives. The heart wants things. And the heart is like that's your subconscious. And the subconscious is like a child. They have no logic. They have no reasoning. They want what they want. They want it now. And they don't give a shit about anything else, right? They don't care about consequences because they don't have the logic piece yet. So they'll throw a tantrum to get what they want. And that's the heart. That's your subconscious. So how do you seduce the heart? You seduce the heart by promise. Remember the big idea on the front end, the attention grabber. It's a seducing the heart. For you to create demand and desire, you have to have 2 of these components working together. You have to seduce the heart by making promises of what they actually want. And then you've got the head is the conscious mind. That's where all the objections live. The head, the job of the head is the parent. The head is the parent. The conscious mind is the parent. The subconscious is the child. What's job number 1 of the parent? Protect the child, right? Protect and nurture that child. You want the child to have what he wants, but you don't want him to get hurt in the process. So the heart's going, no, this is bullshit. You're lying. Your promise isn't true. I'm going to protect the heart and not allow the heart to get broken. That's going on in everyone you're talking to. There's the 2 things. You have to talk to 2 things with every person you're talking to. You're talking to their subconscious and you're also talking to their conscious. And the conscious is the gatekeeper. You've got to break through the gatekeeper to get to the heart. The heart, you know, the promises are going to go to the heart. What's going to convince the head? Remember I said you seduce the heart, convince the head. What does the head want? He wants logic. He wants charts. He wants facts. He wants proof. And if you can convince the head will allow the heart to have what it wants, and you're going to get a sale. Otherwise, you're going to get that stopping block because you've got objections. You haven't convinced the head yet. So when the head gets convinced, the heart is rewarded what it wants, and that's the sale right there. That's the win. So how many of you guys didn't know that?
I'm gonna say I knew most components, but getting it reinfused every 3 to 4 months is super helpful to me because I'm at a different stage. So
Sure.
I'm adding more weight to new elements of the same information.
Yeah, that's so true. You can hear this stuff once, and if you're not ready for it at that point, it kind of just, it doesn't stick. So being in this conversation and going through the stuff over and over, you're going to pick up more stuff every time. Every time you see this stuff, you're going to pick up more and more and more.
Every time.
And eventually it'll all be locked in and you get good at the process. And then at that point, creating marketing campaigns is going to be a no-brainer. So it's really cool stuff. And this, just so you know, this is a presentation to sell ACT. And
John, I'm going to ask you a question if I can,
sure.
if you don't mind.
No,
And
not at all.
basically, if everybody else doesn't either. I'm going to the guarantee.
Okay.
You have, I love that you are upfront with, you have created everything in a way that lets you be lazy, and nowadays that lets you be the sailor man, right? So awesome. One of the things you can do with your guarantee system is 30 days, you don't like it, just shark bit, done, right? Money back.
Yeah.
Or with this program, it's a monthly and you can just end at any time. But most people sell an annual coaching program. Not most, but many of your audience will try to sell a annual subscription program. And if a person signs that contract, they're obliged for a year. They can't 3 months in decide they don't like it and just want to drop out. They're obliged for the year.
Sure.
My question is, do you think a 30-day money back guarantee works or is hurtful? I haven't seen any of the coaches offer that.
Sure. Your guarantee is specific to your offer. So something where it's going to be labor intensive, a 30-day guarantee might not apply. That might not work out for you. What I would do in that case is I would say, okay, it's a year-long program. Here's the way it works. You put a deposit down, and the deposit is going to lock in a personal consult with me. That's going to be 30 minutes. We're going to go over the program and we're going to see if we're a match. If either you or I don't feel we're 100% matched for each other, I'm going to just give you your deposit back and you'll get a free 30-minute consultation. And that's the way I would pose that proposition. It reverses the risk. There's no risk on their part. It's just like a 30-day guarantee, but you're protecting yourself from putting out a whole bunch of labor and then getting hosed.
Okay, so as a follow-up, let's say the person does that, and in the 30-minute, they decide that it isn't what they want. Do you then give them their deposit back?
Absolutely. It's either one. If we're having a conversation to see if we're a match, if either one of us feels that it's not a match, money back right there. So you're risking a 30-minute conversation that usually, like when I've done that a number of times. I did that a lot on SEO when I was presenting SEO offers from stage, because I didn't want the wrong clients. And I knew if I'm just opening this up to people in an open audience, I'm going to get people that are signing up that I don't want. So I always put that on the front end. And a lot of times, it would be a 30-minute call. If it was a good customer, that call could go on for an hour or more. If it was somebody I knew that was not right, it was a 5-minute call. I wasn't wasting 30 minutes. It was like, yeah, you know, right out of the gate, this doesn't sound like this is a good match. How about I just give you your money back? And it doesn't piss them off. You'll never offend them in that way. It's a good way to do things. Yeah. If you know you're not going to work with this person, there's no reason to waste 30 minutes with them.
Okay, so actually Michelle's over there saying, yes, that sounds like what we'll do. How do you say that? I mean, they fall in love with you and you say, sorry, you're not my type, or, you know, sorry, I basically, I don't want to take your money. No matter how much money you throw at me, I don't want to have you in my group. How do you say that politely?
Oh, I got that all pre-thought.
Of course.
I figure out who's somebody I really don't like, and I just refer them over to them. That's the best thing you could possibly do. So get somebody, you know, make sure that your gun is loaded. Make sure you're ready to shoot at all times.
Well, actually, I
And
think
do you
that's-
have an affiliate program with this person you don't like, so you still make money with them?
That's a great point. It wouldn't matter either way. I'd still get satisfaction.
You might as well get lifetime satisfaction.
That is absolutely correct. Oh man. But this presentation, just so you guys know, this is a presentation for ACT. And a lot of times I don't do this up front. I don't do like talking about myself. So what this slide is for, this is for the person that's going to introduce me. So they've got the key points to hit when they introduce me. I don't usually go into talking about myself unless it's for a point. So I go right into what is important to them. I'm going to talk about freedom. The whole idea here is to sell them on the idea that a business is better than a job, right? That's my whole key point of grabbing their attention, is a business is the only thing that's going to get them what they want out of life. A job is going to do nothing but enslave them. And I go even further into that most businesses are just glorified jobs. It's not a real business. It's just going to be a job that you're the owner of. That's the only difference. So, and I talk about, you know, if you want to make a difference, you have to create a freedom lifestyle. You have to create a job that or a business that actually allows you freedom. And in this particular case, I do talk about one of my stories. You know, when I was 8 years old, and that was our little family boat. That's my dad and my grandfather with our little wooden boat. And at 8 years old, I realized the contrast between what we were riding around in and something like this, a yacht. And that's where I asked my dad, how come we don't have one of those? And then what he told me shocked me. At 8 years old, he told me, he goes, we don't have one of those because I have a job. And like, I didn't even know what to think of that at the time. I was thinking, those people don't have jobs? How do they get those yachts? And he told me, he says, they have businesses. They don't have a job. You can't afford that with a job. And that right there prevented me from ever even being able to consider a job. I've never been able to get a job. I've never really, there's only one time in my life I actually tried. And that was when I turned 16. I already had a business with my brother. I was making more money than most 16-year-olds could even imagine. And all my friends were getting jobs at fast food. And I thought it would be cool to go be with my friends. So I tried. I applied for all the fast food jobs and no one would hire me. I did interview after interview. No one would hire me. I mean, McDonald's hires the handicapped, for Christ's sake. What does that say about me? That says I don't get a job. It's out.
John, you have some amazing photos of your boat with the pretty lights on the outside at angles that make it look like it's 125 feet. You've got to pop that in. Don't you have that person's yacht?
Yeah, I should. This was actually put together before I had my new boat. So I will. I'll eventually put mine in there. But, you know, I put down here, I said, well, you know, I'm 58 years old now, and I've never had a job. But I do have one of these yachts now because I have a business. So I'm solidifying the thing in with a personal story. And then I go back into the whole freedom thing. Now, the next thing after freedom, I reiterate, I tie it back to a freedom business is what will set you free. Right? So I've put all this up front, but now I'm going to do the Frank Kern thing. I'm going to throw the big ass problem out. And the big ass problem to this is failure. So many people try to create a business and they fail. Now, that's just a personal claim on my part. Without proof, it's meaningless. So I follow it up with proof that this isn't just me saying it. This is an article out of Forbes magazine that 8 out of 10 businesses are going to fail in 18 months. That's just that. Now it's not just hearsay. It's not my speculation. It's not my opinion. I'm saying this based on this proof of this article. And it's fascinating in this article, the reasons that people fail. And it's the 3 components of ACT. It's either they don't have an understanding of their market. That's analysis. They don't have an effective way to communicate their benefit. That's the creation part. Or they don't bring that message to the market. That's the traffic part. So what I've created solves all 3 of the problems of why these businesses are failing at such an alarming rate, right? And then I do Frank Kern's twist the knife. I said it even gets worse. The 80% are going to fail in 18 months. But if you take it out 10 years, people that are willing to struggle for 10 years, 96% of them are going to fail. And you know, what happens? What's the consequence of that? That's not just being broke, that's being broken. Broke is easy. You can always make more money, but if you're broken, that's hard to fix. Yeah, and then now I've taken them into the pit of hell. Now I have to take them out. I can't just leave them there. I don't want to take an audience into the pit of hell and just leave them. So, and I did this at Glacier Kennedy as well. I said, but some businesses are having their best year ever. You know, I'm proof of it. During a global pandemic and an economy crash and all that, what am I doing? 2020, I'm buying a yacht, right? And I'm tying that to some of these businesses are having their best year ever. You know, why is that? It's simple. They're leveraging technology. So now I'm bringing it back around to the internet. I'm bringing it back to automated marketing campaigns. And I tell them, you know, the world has moved on. What you were doing in the past is in the past. It's not in the future. And then, you know, I go into the whole thing of, you know, I know what you're thinking. You hate tech, right? And then I'm taking that away and I'm saying, you know, you're probably also just sitting there going, please, could you just show me how to do this? And, you know, you get into that stuff. And then I talk about removing the technological overwhelm. You know, I can just cut a straight path through all this confusion, all the stuff of everybody says, do this and do that and do the other, but none of them really know. So I talk about cutting my way through that, putting an end to the learning curve. And it's time. Let's make a difference. Are you guys ready to make a difference? Yeah. And by this time, they're like, yeah, let's move on. Let's get to that. And that's where I create demand and desire by showing them how it works. And in Frank Kern's magic model, after you twist the knife and you reintroduce the benefits. Now what you're going to do is you're going to go into teaching mode. You're going to show them exactly how to do it. Or you're going to show them what they need to do, not necessarily how to do it. You're going to say, here's all the stuff that you need to do. Let me help you. Let me make it clear. Let me straighten the road out. So there's no question, this is the road you need to travel. Right? And that's where I go into, the whole thing. If you want to make money, it's really simple in business. You find a problem and you solve it. Problem equals opportunity. The bigger the problem, the more opportunity. And then I say, problems start when we're born, right? The day that we're born, we have one problem after another, and originally the problems are needs. This kid needs clothes. This kid needs to eat. This kid needs to cut his teeth. This kid's going to need a shitload of stuff. Every one of those problems is an opportunity for somebody to make money. And then as the child gets older, the needs move to wants. He doesn't need candy, but I'm telling you right now, as soon as he gets a taste of it, he's going to want it for the rest of his life or her life. And then it moves from wants to dreams and desires. They're going to want cars. They're going to want houses. They're going to want yachts, right? Bigger problems, bigger opportunities. This is going to go on till this child dies, right? Timeline. When you get what you want the next thing. That timeline is going to go on till the day they die. There's a lot of opportunity in every life on this planet. That's lifetime value. All you have to do is figure out an intersection in that life, insert yourself, and you've got lifetime value if you can create it. Right? Big opportunity here, right? People are probably they've got their teeth sunk into this. Yeah, I want this. I can see this is a way better thing than doing a day job. Right? And then it go back to the problem, the age-old struggle. This means sales. Nobody likes sales. Very few people like cold calling. But I'm going to tell you, it's not that hard. All you have to do is show up. Say, hello, I'm someone that can help. I know you have a problem. Here's a simple solution. Yeah, and then I talk about how do you sell a pencil? You can sell anything for any price. How do you sell a pencil for $1 million? Right? Anybody know how you sell a pencil for $1 million?
Be the only guy in the room that has a pencil when a guy needs a pencil.
Almost. That's almost correct. You have to find the guy that needs the pencil. It'll solve a more than $1 million problem. So let's say you got a guy sitting at a bar. He's got $100 million idea. And he's got somebody sitting next to him that if he could understand it with a drawing, he would give them the money. Right? That guy would pay you $1 million for the pencil to get $100 million.
Right. Hey, and if you're an artist, you can offer to draw it for him and make a couple of 100,000.
That's right. So I'm throwing out, these ideas, problem, solution. That's all business is. It's problem, solution. You find the people with the problems. The problem doesn't have to be a hard problem. It could just be a want or a desire. Like, me wanting a yacht, it's not really a problem. It's a problem I don't have one and I want one, right? But somebody's going to solve that. There was a guy that was a broker that sold me that yacht. He made a chunk of money in the middle.
90% heart.
It was a great day for him. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but then I get into the idea of, okay, so sales is nobody likes that, right? How would you like to create predictable income like an ad agency? How would you like to take the guesswork out of this and make it easy? And this is where I introduce, I'm talking about the ACT formula here, the ACT marketing protocol, but I haven't called it that yet. I'm talking about something they already are familiar with, like ad agency formula. I'm like, ad agencies have been doing this successfully for a long time, and I've got the formula. And the formula now, here comes the unique mechanism. This is the thing that delivers the result, the ACT marketing protocol. It's every formula you're ever going to need to get ad agency results. You know, and then I talk about it's a 4-step process. You grab attention, create demand and desire, eliminate objections, and make an offer. You know, that's the creation piece of ACT. That's the C. That's the formula that gets you the results. Now you need the A and the T on the end of it, but I'm not talking about that yet. I'm not digging into the weeds here. I'm just selling them on the promise, on the goal. And then I say this has been used successfully for over 100 years. Right? And then I go into the process. Yeah, I'm just going to show them what they need to do. Is this helpful to like see this all in action? Like all the pieces put together. I know it's all the stuff I talk about every week, but sometimes you want to see it, right?
Absolutely. It worked for me. I
Yeah,
bought
and
in.
no, you explain it a little different every time, so it's really good to have it washed over again.
Yeah, so here I go into step 1, you know, the big idea, where it came from, the David Ogilvy story. And then I go into the 3 pieces. Like, here's the map for it. Here's the process. It's a promise, desired outcome, unique delivery mechanism, the thing that does the result, and then saying it in an intellectually interesting way. And I talk about, you know, the transformation, the current situation, the desired outcome. This is timeline. This is the timeline exercise. You know, promise what they really want and describe the transformation, what they're going to get when they get there. And then I talk about the pieces of the unique mechanism.
Elements of an offer.
Well, that
Yep.
was a special offer, yeah.
And then here I've got eliminate resistance. And, you know, that in itself is a huge thing. When you can eliminate resistance in a sales process, and you eliminate resistance by convincing the head, right? It's the facts. The fact that you have a unique mechanism that's going to deliver the result, it eliminates this resistance like magic. And then I show an example of a big idea. I point out the promise, the unique mechanism, the unique way it's displayed. And then we're on to step 2, create demand and desire. You know, how do you create a flood of people wanting to buy your stuff on autopilot? You know, I tell them great marketing is what makes this happen. Great marketing makes sales obsolete. And then again, proof point, how many salespeople do you see at McDonald's? There's order takers, that's it. And then I say, you know, what would you rather do? Pull your hair out, calling people, trying to convince them to buy your stuff, or simply pick up the phone and take orders because your marketing did that work for you? If your marketing creates demand and desire, first it's got to grab their attention. Then it creates demand and desire. It eliminates objections. How does McDonald's do that? You know, it shows you pictures of delicious stuff, and then it eliminates the objection of it's too expensive because they slash the price and they say, come in and get our 2-for-1 offer or whatever. They're creating demand and desire, eliminating objections. So they're ready to give you an order. They just want the thing. It's like, who do I hand the money to? So what would you rather do? Try and sell them or pick up the phone and just take an order? I'm speaking to their soul here. I'm speaking to their heart. This is what their heart wants. You know, it's the head that's going to get in the way. So you have to anticipate those objections, eliminate them. So we're talking about the demand and desire here. And then step 3, here's where I bring in the Franklin Belief Builder. This is the thing that will eliminate any objection that ever walked the face of the earth. It's been around for 276 years and it works every time. And I talk about every objection because it comes from a belief. And sometimes the belief can be as simple as they just think they can't do it. Maybe they tried it before. Whatever it is, it's an objection. That belief causes an objection that's going to prevent the sale. So the Franklin belief burglar, here's how it works. It's claim, proof, benefit. You know, and I walk them through the process. You make a claim contrary to the belief. You follow it up with proof points. Now it's not a claim, it's a fact. Now that the fact is there, people generally don't dispute facts unless they're crazy. Not saying there's not some of those out there, but this works most of the time. And then once it's a fact, now you reattach it to the benefit. And then I talk about three-dimensionalizing the benefit. This is where you get away from talking about the features. You talk about the benefits and you three-dimensionalize them so they can hear it, see it, feel it. And in this, I really reiterate that learning how to do this, and I don't tell them how to do it. I just tell them, you know, the rough guideline of it. In the program, you learn how to do this. And this right here is a game changer for anything. If you can make it so they hear it, see it, feel it, it's game over. And then step 4, the offer, which we already kind of covered that one. And then I'm kind of summarizing before I actually go into my offer here is back to the promise, you know, end your financial crisis. Most people are in a financial crisis. You know, they're one paycheck away from disaster. That's where most people are that are in day jobs. You know, and I talk about predictable client acquisition, predictable income, scalable growth, and the end of that terrible scenario of more month than money. That's a bitch when your month runs longer than your money does. You know, and again, stop going seminar. I could probably cut some of this stuff out because I'm probably digging in too far into the weeds here with the stop going to seminar and program after program, and just change your life forever. And you can do it, you know, just reiterating that you can do it. And then I talk about, you know, that 96% of people that fail, this is what the other 4% looks like. They have predictable income, and that has its benefits, believe it or not. Yeah, and now I just attach that right to what I'm trying to sell. Now I'm talking about, again, these are features. This is not exciting. Breeze through this really fast. That, you know, when I'm talking about this, I'll usually tell them the benefit. This is step-by-step video, so you're not left on your own devices to try and read and decipher the stuff. I'm just going to tell you how to do it, right? So I'm taking a feature and I'm giving the benefit. Full support, here's where, you know, you get to take me home with you. You know, this is the only program that's fully supported ongoing as long as you need the support. Get it done. You know, same thing with the weekly mentoring, fill in the blanks workbook. You know, that's so you don't have to just be left on your own devices to try and fill a blank page. All you're doing is filling in the blanks. Automated sales attendant. I probably shouldn't even put that in because that's a bonus. And the pass the buck bonus. This is a good one where I say, if you buy the program, you don't even have to do the work. You can pass the buck to one of your employees. I'll train your employee to do this for you. You know, that's a good bonus. That is a very relevant bonus. That's how to get it done easier, faster, cheaper, and they don't have to do the work. If you can remove the work from somebody, that's a great bonus. You know, and then here, what am I doing here? Saying no tech skills or experience required. I'm eliminating another objection. Again, I've already addressed it up front, but I know it's going to still be there, so I have to address it again. And by the way, on the way, they're seeing the actual process here. They can't see what it is, but they're seeing that it exists. They're like, wow, that's a roadmap. That gets me right where I want to go. Yeah, and then here I talk again about the bonus. You get to take me home with you. And that's where we lead into, the ongoing support, mentorship. I'm there to answer your questions and help you every step of the way. This is the last marketing program you're ever going to need. That eliminates another objection of what else am I going to have to buy to make this work? Because a lot of people have that one in the back of their mind. Well, yeah, what else am I going to need? I'm telling them right up front, this is the last marketing program you're ever going to need. And then I hit the price, sells for $19.97 plus the support and mentoring ongoing, as long as you want it, no obligation. Yeah, here, normally I'm doing this. This is for Randy, which I'm doing this for him in about an hour, but this is for his group. This is what would be an exclusivity offer. This is exclusively for his group of why the discount. But normally the way I position this is I say it's $19.97. The way the payments work, nobody has to pay that much today. You pay $4.97 today. And the way this is packaged, this is a results in advance guarantee that has worked spectacularly for me. That's $4.97 today. And the second payment of $1,500 is due after you've made $100,000 with the program. It's a $100,000 guarantee. It's either you make the $100,000 or you don't pay the second payment of $1,500. So again, that's a results in advance guarantee that I know is going to create an objection, and it's also going to sabotage them. Because believe it or not, if somebody got the program, did it, and was on the path to make $100,000, they would sabotage themselves so they didn't have to make the $1,500 payment. As crazy as that sounds, don't think that's not true. It will sabotage them. So knowing that right up front, I'm going to eliminate the penalty of the second payment for their success, because that's what it is. You're penalizing them for being successful. I don't want to penalize them. I want to incentivize them. So I say, and again, this is an exclusive offer for today only. If you buy it today, I'm going to guarantee you never make the second payment, because I'm going to allow you to trade the second payment when you hit the $100,000 for a video testimonial. And I'm going to feature you as a success story. So now I'm incentivizing them instead of penalizing them. So it's a very unique offer. And it's worked really well. When I've done that offer from stage, it blows people's minds. They flip out. So I didn't do that one here. I'm just making it $97 because I know Randy's got a very low entry level market here he's trying to appeal to. So we're just going to make it cheap for them. And that's the rationale for it. And then I say normally at $4.97, it's $1.36 a day, but for you guys, it's 27 cents. Now I'm going to make a contrast here. You know the value of this, right? The value of creating a marketing campaign that automates your sales, predictable income. What else could you buy today that would make a difference for 27 cents? That's all this is going to cost you. So that's an irresistible offer. That's a no-brainer offer. I should change that to, just 27 cents, but I didn't have time to do that for this one. And then there's the shark bite guarantee, and I visualized this guy. If in 30 days you don't find value in the program, just call us up, send in a ticket, tell us the shark bit it, 100% money back guarantee. And then last one, just coming back, act today, final call to action. Offers off the table tomorrow. Go get it. So that's
great. Hey,
63.
John, do you ever do an offer that is like kind of like in the middle of that, like maybe 197 or 297?
Absolutely.
But what I wanted to say is, do you ever offer like say 2 months free to the mentorship program so people can come in get a taste and then they don't want to leave because they see how good it is, and then you get the win there too?
No, I've never done that on this offer. I've done that on our SaaS software offer. And the reason for it is here, you need the support right out of the gate, right? So you need the value of the program right out of the gate. When I sell the software, I know it's going to take them some time to get up and running. Like in some cases, if they're buying our agency software, they need time to put a campaign together to get clients to pay for it. So I'm telling them, hey, I'm going to give you a buffer. I'm going to give you 3 months. If you get one client in 3 months, you're never going to have to pay for this again. The clients are going to pay for it. So that's the reason that I package it up in a 3-month offer for them. But here it's not necessary. It's a different offer. That's why don't look at somebody else's campaign and think that you just want to copy it.
That's why I'm asking.
Yeah, create a campaign that makes sense for what you're doing every step of the way. Like to create this particular campaign right here, I've stolen pieces from probably 30 different marketers to create this. But every one that I stole, I only took that piece, I put my twist on it, and it's perfect for what I'm doing. If I would have just taken someone else's whole campaign, it would have never fit.
Now, can I ask you, how do you put this together exactly? Like I know it's a PowerPoint, but do you give it, do you give the content to your guys and they put it together, or like?
No, I basically do all of my own campaigns, all my own PowerPoints. I actually like doing that. I like, that to me is like, that's my own little private personal mastermind. That's where I get to actually use my noodle, as my dad would say. A lot of times what I'll do is I will sit down in my rocking chair with a pad of paper and a pencil. And I'll just start putting stuff down. And then when I've got all the pieces together, it's hard to move them around on a pad. So I'll go and I'll move them into either a PowerPoint or a Word document. Usually I'll use a Word document where I can grab and move, and then I get them in the right order. And then I put it into a PowerPoint. And then I go over to deposit photos. And that's a stock photo program that I belong to. And what I'll do there is I'll look for an image that describes exactly what I'm trying to portray. And the images are really important. A lot of people are visual. There's some audible, but there's a lot of people that are visual. And, they say a picture is worth 1,000 words. So I'm trying to find photos that represent what I'm talking about, what I'm trying to get across. And sometimes they'll evoke emotion. Emotion is a really powerful thing in a sales process. If you can visualize the outcome of something or visualize things so they get it, you'll be way money ahead. It makes your job a lot easier. It's like I said, a great marketing campaign will eliminate the process of sales.
Right. Plus the subconscious mind only works in pictures. It doesn't work with words. Only our conscious mind works with words. John, what was the name of that photo place you use?
It's called Deposit Photos. And what they do, it's depositphoto.com, I believe. And what they do, don't buy it right away. They'll send you an offer where they'll give you 100 images for $99. So they're like $1 a piece. So it's really inexpensive. If you go in and buy right away, that's quite a bit more than that. But if you just get on their mailing list, they send those offers out all the time. And they give you like a year to use them. So for $100, you got a year to use 100 of them.
Okay.
Yeah, Roger.
Yeah, I just wanted to mention that Black Friday is coming up, and I'm making a list of software that I'm scoping out for when they offer their Black Friday sale, because they'll offer it at Cyber Monday, yeah, it's 60% off or more kind of thing. So I imagine that's when to get your stock art bulk discount.
Yeah, just get on their mailing list. They do those specials all the time. Black Friday, they do them every holiday. They have one for Easter. They got one for St. Patrick's Day. They do them constantly. If you look, Dave D put out a program a long time ago about scheduling your marketing campaign throughout the year. And he had a calendar, a full year calendar. And he was showing you all the opportunities that you have in a year on a calendar to create a special offer. And it was like, holy shit, there's hundreds of them, hundreds of opportunities. You can do one for your birthday. You can do one for every one of your family's birthdays, or all of your pets' birthdays. It's a reason to have a sale, right?
You can even make up a reason, John. We're having a sale because there's no time, there's no reason to have a sale this month, whatever.
Yeah, but you got Secretary's Day, you got all the military holidays.
You just follow your Hallmark calendar.
Yeah. It's like you could damn near do a special every day of the week. It's crazy. I thought of one. I'm like, hey, I actually went through his program when he did that offer, and I said, he was asking for people's ideas, and I said, I got a great one. I said, it's a holiday because it's a day that ends in Y. That gives me 365 of them. Yeah, Roger.
Hey, John. Michelle was mentioning to me, but I'm more aggressive on the Zoom, I think. But you had the slide showing $1,997, and then it got reduced to $97 plus $29 a month. And you said that's a rationalized discount. Yeah, how can you rationalize that steep of a discount?
I rationalized it because it's only available to Randy's members. So it's an exclusive offer. So the exclusive offer itself rationalizes the discount. We're not discounting it for any other reason, but you're getting this as part of his membership. It's a bonus of his membership. So it's, it doesn't really rationalize it like I typically would like to, but it does the job. There's a lot of ways you can rationalize stuff though. But if you do everything else really good, you can be weak on certain points and it doesn't really matter. It's like, I always say you can stop shooting the elephant when he's dead. You're trying to kill the elephant. Just shoot him till he's dead and then stop shooting. So Andy,
John, don't forget the National Holiday Registry. I mean, there's national holidays literally every day for kinds of strange things.
Yeah, that's what Dave D on it. He gave everybody an annual calendar and it had stuff on there. I'm like, what the hell is that? But Andy, did you have a question there?
Yeah, I need to change the topic for a second though. I've got a SitePop question.
All right.
So I emailed you a ticket and you got me pretty much where I wanted to go, but I'm still having an issue with a new YouTube program that I set up.
Okay.
It's been running for about 2 weeks and it's searching for one of my videos and it won't find it. And I can find it, but SitePop's not finding it. And I don't understand if
okay.
I must have done something wrong or whatever. I don't know.
No, it's probably not on your part. It's probably on our part. Keep in mind that the new programs like YouTube and the GMB, those are still in our beta programs. We haven't quite flushed all the bugs out. So it's probably just a recording problem on our part. Reporting problem.
A reporting problem?
Yeah, that would be, I talked to Chris about that and he said there still was a few things where, it just wasn't quite updating things perfectly.
Because
So
it says it's doing the searches, and when I go on
Yeah.
it's definitely doing searches, but it looks for 38 minutes for a video that it's the only video that says placebook basically, and
Yeah.
if I
And I've
type it in, I go right to it. I don't know, so I don't know.
Yeah, I would venture to say it's probably just a reporting error.
Okay,
So,
because
I mean, if you can run the search manually and you see that it's there,
yeah,
that's the whole key.
yeah, okay, because I keep testing it and I look every day and it's doing all these searches and I'm going, but it's still not finding it. And I cut the URL right out of the search
Yeah,
and
no,
put it in and it's right there.
that pretty much tells me it's just a reporting error. You know, if it's there and then we're just not showing it, that's on our side.
Okay, I just was curious if I had done something wrong or whatever, because I don't want you to go and look for the video though, because it's pretty cheesy. It was just a test video, and I just wanted to run a test and see if it would find it. And
Yeah,
because it didn't find it, I just left it up, and I'm waiting for it to find it so I can go, holy crap, I better get that down.
yeah. No, if you had an issue on your side of like the configuration of the setup, it probably wouldn't be running the searches.
Right.
So the fact that it's running the searches and the fact that you can search and find it means that it's not only running the searches, it's working to push you up like it's supposed to.
Okay.
So just a reporting error on our part then.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
Then yeah, that's my main question. I was just concerned that, like I said, it's been running for 2 weeks and I'm going, man, I better not set up any more projects until I get this figured out.
Yeah, no, I know we have the same problem with the GMB as well, because I've been running mine for like 3 or 4 months and it still hasn't shown, but I know it's working because I can go and see it working.
Oh, okay, cool.
For
And
some
so
reason,
when you say it's just not reporting that it found it on page 1 or what the rank is, and so it's finding it, it's just not reporting it.
Yeah, because what it is, the app that's running it is supposed to record the position that it found it in and report that back to our software so it can display to you.
Right.
So there's a break somewhere in that process.
Okay. And then the other question about the same thing is I just set it up on my my phone to run it. Now, is it one of the ones that you can run from your computer, like from a Windows device and an Android phone?
Yes, yeah, you can run any of the projects from a computer, from either a Windows 10 or newer or a Mac computer.
Yeah.
But the only deal there is the app that runs on those is only one project. Whereas if you're running on Android, you can put one of each of the 5 projects.
Right, right.
So that's the only difference. But you can run any of the projects on there, you just can only run one on a desktop.
So as I start running, getting more devices, like once I know that this is all working for me and everything, and I'm adding people's devices in, I can run all those same projects just on everybody else's devices, right?
Correct. Yeah, everybody that has an Android in the system, you can run one of each of the projects on.
Okay, perfect. And when I see that it's
have all 5.
right, and when I see that it's a Windows search, and I only have it set up on my Android, that's obviously the network that's done that search, right?
That's correct. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Your own devices only run a small percentage of the searches. Most of the searches you get are coming from the network.
Right.
And most of our network is the Android devices.
Okay. Cool.
It's predominantly Android. Yeah.
Cool. Very cool.
All right. Anything else before we wrap up? I got to get ready to get on Randy's thing and give him an actual full-blown presentation of what I gave you guys kind of a half-ass version of.
Well, that half-ass version got me to buy the ACT program. And it keeps me coming back all the time. So that's a really good half-ass version. I wish I could get that good.
That's where I say, if you do some of it really good, you could suck at the rest and you'd still be okay.
Right. Well, it worked for me.
Yeah. Woody, you're muted out there. You're muted, Woody. We're not hearing you.
Okay, hey,
There you go.
hey, babies. I like your haircut. Um, I have a question. Sort of the way I've been developing, since I signed up with Craig and you, is I don't want to say like I'm a Renaissance guy, but I'm a multi-faceted talent. And, that's either in real estate or art or, training, which I did at Keller Williams for 20 years.
You're a
basic
masterpiece in process is what you are.
training. And the thing is, none of these projects are running like in a linear order. They're all happening at once in my head. And so what I think I need is a landing page that segregates and directs people to the different services I offer. Does that mean, like, let's say I offer 4 services, do I need 4 websites
No.
and a landing page?
Now, what you need is you need one main hub website that kind of breaks down the 4 categories. If you've got 4 categories, and then you can, if the things that you're offering is of truly just a one thing offer, you could do a landing page there. If it's not, if it kind of encompasses a bunch of stuff, then what you can do is the 4 sections on your homepage, when they click on that, that could go down to a section of your website that covers that section. And it might have landing pages for the different offers in that section. So think about a landing page as a sales page, and think about the rest of your pages as content to create demand and desire to lead them to that sales page. Whether it be opt-ins or just valuable content to keep people engaged. You could do videos, you could do all kinds of different content. So that's kind of the master plan, is to have those pointers on your homepage to section them out. Basically, it allows that person to self-segment. Like what I tell realtors specifically, if they're just doing realtors. So I tell them, your 2 main segments is buy and sell. So have a buy button and a sell button, because those are 2 different languages. When you're speaking the buy language, you're talking good deal, right? The seller doesn't want to hear that you're doing good deals because they want max value. If you talk max value, the buyer is going to go, that's not the guy for me. I want the guy that's going to get me the best value. So you have to get them away from each other. You have to take them to the room where that conversation's going on. And then once you do that, like buy and sell, right? Say you have a buyer, they hit the buy button. Now they go to the buy section. Now they're not all cut from the same cloth, right? You might have the woman that is recently divorced, needing a home to raise her kids in. So, she's going to have special needs. You might have the growing family that wants to get out of the city, buy a big country home, right? And then you got the bachelor. He wants a bachelor pad, right? Again, you got 3 different languages there. So you segment them, you allow them to self-segment who they are, and then they go down into where that conversation's going on. And then ultimately, you might have a sales page. That's your landing page at the end of the rainbow. So if you only have just the end of the rainbow, you only need 1 landing page. But if you have, multiple segments, multiple audiences, multiple avatars, you need to take them to that section of the site where they feel at home. Nurture them and then make them an offer. Does that make sense? And it doesn't matter how many segments you have. Just keep this in mind. the more elaborate that scheme becomes, the more work it is and the longer it's going to take for you to dial it in. I always tell everybody, when you're doing this or you're starting from scratch and you've got, we all have a ton of ideas in our head, but obviously our bodies only allow us to do so much in the 24-hour day because we got to sleep a little bit, we want to do other stuff. So if you're just starting out, what I encourage everyone to do is lay all your segments out in front of you and pick which one's the most profitable. And just start with that one, right? Just start there because you're going to get the biggest bang for your buck. And, sometimes it might not be the money profitability. Sometimes it might be something that you really enjoy and it's going to be easy to do and you'll be able to knock it out a very limited amount of time and get profit easier. That might be the one. But when I say go for the most profitable one, sometimes it's not the one with the most money in it. It might be the most profitable for you. But once you get that one done, it's so much easier. Once you've created a marketing campaign to duplicate it, replicate it, now you've got two. But if you start with two and you're trying to do two simultaneously, I guarantee you it's going to take you twice as long as it would have if you did one and then duplicated it. So it's just easiest path to get you where you're profitable, where you want to go.
Well, the weird thing, and then I've been posting in other people's websites, and I noticed a really weird phenomena yesterday. I mean, it took me 2.5 years with you guys to figure, but I noticed one guy, I recently got my dad's music company, and one of our products are Mad, that he wrote all the Mad stuff.
Yeah.
Now Warner Brothers owns those copy, the publishing. And we get the songwriters royalty. But I'm really enjoying being with my dad's work. And there are markets for it, either using movies or Craig's favorite, membership sites.
Yeah.
And I'm really excited about it. So I've been I joined this Mad Magazine group. That group has 30,000 people on it, right, Azreen? 30,000. And I did something, I said something, I did a post introducing myself, the son of the Mad Music Man. And all of a sudden I got about 45 people throughout the day. And I noticed they followed me to my real estate site.
Yeah.
And holy shit.
Buy a
They
house
like
from
me
Son
as
of
a
Man.
madman. They like me as a madman. And now they're liking me as a realtor. And they followed me because they, quote Sally Field, they like me.
Yeah.
So I want to post every day on a real estate snippet, a little 1-minute tip. There's a black guy that is sensational, a coach, and he gets right on you. Do one of those a day, and then do a post in Mad. And wherever you post, they'll follow you.
Yeah. That's a classic thing that people will buy from you if they like you, and it doesn't matter what you're selling. They'll buy what you're selling if they like you. Like you can go from one industry to another and the same people will follow you and buy from you. Yeah, that's a real thing.
Kind of sounds like a madhouse.
Yeah.
Well, that's me.
Woody
That's
is truly a
not
mad
a suggestion.
But can I just clarify something? You're not on the Mads group, right, Woody? You're just posting fun things, like fun facts about like maybe things about your dad. So then they go to your website because you don't want to post about the real estate on the Mad site because that would be,
No, I'm
Right.
posting about mad stuff to the
Yeah.
mad people. And then
Yeah.
they look up who's Woody Blackman, you know?
yeah,
I guess that's
so
how they float over.
Yeah, that's the way to do it, because you're just being you're sharing a common interest. And then that's what has people like you. And then, like John says, they'll follow you everywhere. So that's good. I just wanted to clarify that just in case.
Thank you, love. And John, the other thing is, I think I should probably do, the Mad Men. See, the music company will need its own website. We're offering a lot of stuff, 4 different packages to the music using public. So I know I'm gonna need that.
Yeah. Not everything will all fit in one website. Sometimes there's situations where, you need a separate website for it.
Well,
But-
I mean, they go woodyblackman.com. I love this guy. And they end up on the real estate site and they go, what the, is going on?
Well, who's to say that a madman can't be a realtor as well?
No, exactly. That's how I started the beginning of this Renaissance man thing. It's
Yeah.
like,
But I think you could do everything you do under woodyblackman.com, and
Right.
you could also certainly have a membership site in Kartra to sell all the mad memorabilia and what have you there. I think you could definitely do that. And like you were saying, you can create a free membership that you could pull so many of those people off of social media into your free mad membership. And then now that they're in there, guess what? You have a magnificent mailing list to sell them stuff.
I know.
I think that would be a great plan for you, for sure.
And the last thing, because I know I came in late, I couldn't figure out how to get on. But Warner Brothers owns this. And, like if I'm going to have to like use Alfred E. Newman's likeness, I'm going to have to like kiss their hand and ask permission. And I thought of a sort of a more iconoclast approach. And I was thinking, just sell some mad merchandise on your site through an approved vendor, and then you're slinging the logo around and it's kind of marrying it to you, and you don't fucking need excuse my French. You don't need Warner Brothers to give you permission.
Yeah, well, that's
right, Roger. You know what I'm saying?
And you can, if you go and become an affiliate of those vendors, you get money off those links, off anybody that buys from you through your site.
Yeah, so just put a bunch of mad vendors on my site.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, you don't even,
John,
you don't have to put the merchandise on the site itself. You could have the membership. And then what you do is when you get an affiliate link from somebody that has that merchandise, you can just email that out to them. It never even has to hit the site. So you could be completely safe, completely, insulated.
Right on, right on.
I had an interesting thing. I have a lot of different subscriptions to a lot of different things, but one person was talking about leverage the other day. And the classic things, you can leverage your skill, you can leverage your time, and you can leverage your money. And they said there's actually now a fourth leverage. And I hadn't quite thought of it this way, but she says audience is leverage. If you have an audience, that in itself is a form of leverage. And when you really sit down and think about that and say, oh, how does that play out and where does that play out? That really could probably even be the most powerful form of leverage, because you're now to the extent you have a larger audience, you're multiplying, you're doing more and more one to many as opposed to one-on-one.
Yeah.
That was that was a great insight. So what really constitutes quote unquote leverage? Because you're
Yeah,
a big
that's
you're a
awesome.
you're a big fan of leverage, John.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Well, at this point, I have to leverage my time because I got to get ready for Randy's thing. So, hey, I'm going to cut us off. We've been, geez, over 2 hours and holding strong. But anyway, you guys have a great week
Have a
and
great week, everyone.
be back
Yeah,
on
thank you. Very
Thanks,
good.
John. Thanks,
very good.
everybody.
next week.
Bye, thank you.
Bye, everybody.
Try not to have too much fun.
Why not? Have a lot of fun.
Try it.